Hello, everyone, and welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Pat Brock, and we're here on the campus of the West Lawrence Raiders. And we've got a magnificent group of men with us today. They're the Black Daggers. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thank you for having me.
So good to see you all. You guys look so sharp.
Why, thank you. I try to dress up pretty nice.
Listen, we want you to introduce yourself to everyone and tell us a little bit about where you came from and your background, okay?
I am Staff Sergeant Curtis Loader. I'm originally from Bettendorf, Iowa. I went to college before I came into the military. I enlisted in the military to do my job, which is a graphic designer, a 25 mic. And been doing that ever since. Been doing a little bit of combat camera work and became a parachutist, and here's where I'm at today.
That is so awesome and such a great story, a graphic artist, and now here you are jumping out of planes and helicopters and all kinds of things that fly.
Yes, ma'am. It's a very interesting one, to say the least.
Now, how long have you been a part of the Black Daggers, and how did you learn of this elite group?
I've been with them for just over a year.
Mm-hmm.
When I started doing free fall parachute jumps, one of my initial instructors was the team leader of the Black Daggers at the time. So when I was looking for a new job, I called him up and he said, all right, come on, let's have dinner.
Wow. Now, you know, for a person like me, I'm afraid of heights. So
Yes,
that probably would not be my sport of choice, correct?
You would be surprised. There have been a lot of people that have conquered their fear of heights by doing this.
That's amazing.
Yes.
And you know, this is such an elite group. How many people are a part of the Black Daggers?
Right now, we only have 6 full-time members. We get some part-time members every once in a while, but for the most part, it's just the 6 of us doing all these shows across the country.
You guys are so busy.
Yes, ma'am. Very busy.
How much time are you gone?
We are gone quite extensively. We like to do some local shows to kind of vary it up, and then that way we get some time with the families and stay at home and do all the Army stuff that we need to do.
But local, you're from Iowa.
Yes, ma'am.
And so you all are stationed out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good, very good. And so we're looking at this equipment back here. This is your gear, correct?
Yes, ma'am. This is the parachute that we actually jump on a almost daily basis.
Really?
It's comprised of 2 actually parachutes. There's a main parachute, which is contained in this part of the parachute, the container here. And then you have a reserve parachute, your backup parachute, in this part up here.
You know, it's so fascinating. I think anytime we see parachutists, you know, we see so much in the movies. And to see that you all do this for real, and you do a lot of demonstrations, and here we are here at a high school, and you're doing what you love and what you're so specially trained to do.
Yes, ma'am. It is an absolute honor to bring this type of visual to the American public. They don't get to see this on a daily basis. And sometimes people have never seen a parachute before they've seen us jump, which is absolutely amazing. And they kind of get wowed, and it brings a nice sense of national pride and everything else that sometimes we need.
Absolutely it does. And you know, we're so used to seeing so much on television. Television shows us pretty much everything we want to see, but to be able to see the realism, and I'm looking right here, is that a camera?
Yes, ma'am. We like to jump cameras every time, so that way we can actually show you on social media and other aspects, like what we actually see under canopy.
That is so fantastic. And what about safety? How big a part does safety play, and what things do you do for like just safety nets?
We have many different brackets of safety that we use on a daily basis. So we have the reserve parachute.
Right.
We have 3 different forms of altimeters that we use.
What is that altimeter?
An altimeter tells us how high we are in the sky. So we'll have one on our chest strap right here, which is an analog version. We'll have a digital version on our arm, and then we have an audible one that beeps in our ear. It's this little guy flashing right here. And it basically gives us an indication of how high we are and lets us know what we have to do at specific altitudes.
And what is the highest that you've ever jumped?
The highest I've ever jumped is 15,000 feet. A couple of the team members have jumped from 25 or 30,000 feet.
I don't even like being that high in a plane. But just to hear, you know, I'm sure this is such an adrenaline rush for you.
Yes, ma'am. It is absolutely amazing. Every time you go, and it only gets better.
What's one of the most beautiful places or landscapes you've ever jumped from and seen?
One of the best places we've jumped from is actually West Virginia. It was absolutely beautiful. We're jumping in the mountains, and it's all green. It was absolutely fantastic. We've also got to jump on the beach. We've got to jump in Virginia Beach. We've got to jump around Miami. It just doesn't get any better than seeing that from the sky.
You guys have such an amazing career here. You know, the things that you get to see and witness that others do not. And you're definitely an elite group because you only have so many out of thousands and thousands of airborne men and women.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, it is a very small community, and we're all a very tight-knit community as well.
And so you travel so much. How much jump time do you have to have in order to even become a Black Dagger?
It depends. We've trained people up from very small beginnings. We've obtained some people with lots of experiences. We've gone all the way across the board from training someone up with 0 jumps to acquiring someone with over 4,000 jumps.
So exciting, so exciting. Do you have any females that are Black Daggers?
Not currently on the team. We rotate personnel on a frequent basis. We've had some in the past. We're looking to get some in the future.
Okay.
We'll hopefully have some more. It'll be great to have them.
Very good. Well, listen, it's been a pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you, ma'am.
We're looking forward to seeing you in the air.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
See you on the ground.
See you on the ground.
Choose the convenience of Neighbors Express and get friendly, courteous service every time you visit any of our convenient locations. Fill up with pay at the pump and take advantage of our bigger and better selection of beverages and tobacco products. Buy 12 packs of Pepsi products, 2 for $6.99. Enjoy the popular crushed ice with your favorite fountain drink. Also enjoy a fresh, hot breakfast. Stop by for lunch or dinner. It's always fresh, always convenient at Neighbors Express. Now located at I-16 and 441 and in Cedar Grove, providing farm fuel for all our customers. Count on the convenience of Neighbors Express.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're having such an interesting time meeting the Black Daggers, and we've got another young man with us. If he would introduce himself to everyone and tell us about how his journey has been up to now.
Okay, my name's Sergeant First Class Jonathan Morales. I was born in Freehold, New Jersey. I was an Army brat myself, so I've traveled a lot as a child. My dad retired at Fort Benning, Georgia, so I ended up growing up in the South. So I followed his footsteps, sort of. Joined the Army in 1999, and I actually started off as a food service specialist, which people don't believe that, but it's
so
true.
You can cook.
Oh yeah, I can cook. Yep. And I did that for about 3 years, 4 years. Went on to be a door gunner in Iraq, which changed my mind on the job that I was doing. I seen there was more out there, more that I can do, and I wanted to do more. Now, in 2003, I did a free fall tandem with the Golden Knights. And
wait a minute.
That's when I got hooked. And I was like, okay, I got to keep doing this.
Yeah.
So I started the accelerated free fall course on the civilian side, and it was pretty expensive. So I got my license, and then I was like, I can go Special Forces. They do it and get paid to do it.
Right, right.
So I then began training myself to get ready for the grueling course of Special Forces Assessment and Selection. I did that in 2006 and got selected.
Wow, congratulations.
And yes, and then I found myself going to military free fall school right after I went to 3rd group, and I started getting paid to do it.
Wow.
And from then, I did a few tours overseas. Then I went and did my instructor time, because everybody gets pulled for their instructor time in the Special Forces community. And then I got back to a team, and I was pretty much told, hey, we need names for the Black Daggers, because they needed more personnel on the team. My team sergeant was like, okay, I'm going to put your name in. I was like, okay, fine. Didn't think it was going to happen.
And here you are.
And 2 months after that, hey, you're going to Black Daggers. I was like, oh, all right. And here I am.
And
so
here you are. I bet you're loving every minute of it.
It's a very good time. At first, I was a little sad leaving the team because, you know, Special Forces community is very busy, very fun. You do a lot of pretty cool things, you know.
We just never know about it.
Correct.
We just never know about it. And so here you are. So your journey was a little bit different from the other one, but here you are, and you're definitely doing something that you love.
Yes, I do love skydiving. And when I first started, it was a goal of mine to become either a Golden Knight or a Black Dagger, any parachute team that I can try to get myself into. And here I am, 17 years in the Army, and finally on a
Yeah.
parachute demonstration team.
Did you ever talk to your dad about this?
I have, but not too much because
Yeah.
he wasn't around after,
Yeah.
because him and my mom, kind of split.
I
So.
gotcha. I
But
gotcha.
I told him a lot of things, and I wanted to actually get him to do a jump,
Yeah.
but it never did happen.
Never
so.
did happen. But here you are. You're doing something very special with a great group. And you had told us off camera that you had a family. And so you spend so much time away from your family. How do you balance those things?
Very difficult.
Yeah.
But any chance that I get, I always try to go get the kids. They live with their mother, so it makes
Yeah.
it even harder in
Yeah.
another state. So anytime I'm free, I'm going to pick them up so we can hang
Yeah.
out, because they're older children.
Right,
They're
right.
in their teens, so.
Teenagers.
Yeah.
But we know they're probably so proud of you.
Yes,
Of what you're doing.
They are very proud. I actually had them with me one weekend, and we had a local show, and they actually got to come out and see the show, and they were just.
I bet they were
loved it.
at awe to see you do something that so few people do, and to see you do it so well.
Yeah, it was great to have them there, and I'm so glad they got to witness
Yeah.
what it's like, and hopefully when they get old enough, I want to take them on a tandem myself.
That would be so great.
See what happens.
Have you always been like an adventurous person?
I'd say after that first skydive, that's when it really,
Yeah.
because my hobbies were like fishing and stuff,
Yeah.
but when
Things on the ground,
correct, and
slow.
when I first got in the Army, one, I was a cook.
Yeah.
Two, I wasn't airborne, and I have an older brother. And when we used to get together with my dad, they used to pick on me all the time. You don't jump out of planes, you're a
Right.
cook, so.
Look at you now.
Yeah,
Look
here we
at you
are.
now.
Here
Look
we
at you
are.
now. And you're from Jersey, and so you spent most of your life down in the South. What place has been the most spectacular for you to jump from?
For me, I'd say Virginia Beach.
Oh,
We
wow.
got to do a beach jump. That was phenomenal. It was awesome. It was almost nighttime, so we had smoke, we had pyro, we had more guys with us, because sometimes we do have more guys on the team, but
Yeah.
not all the time can we all travel together. Sometimes other things pop up
Yeah,
in
yeah.
other places. So yeah, that was
Virginia
pretty awesome.
Beach.
Virginia Beach
It's-
over the water. It's
Oh
like,
my
oh
gosh.
man, there it is.
And and you guys, you probably have so much video footage of you doing these different jumps. Do you have like a collection of jumps for you?
I do not, but we have a Facebook page.
Nice.
Which Kurt, one of the guys you talked to earlier, he puts together a video, so I can get on our Facebook page and look at
Wow.
those videos. all I want.
Can we, the public, do that as well? Can we like your page? And
Yes, you absolutely can.
all right, and it's Black Daggers.
Black Daggers demonstration team.
Black Daggers demonstration team on Facebook.
Yep, use the salt Black Daggers and it should pop up.
Very good, very good. Well, listen, it's been so nice to meet you. You have such an interesting story coming from being a cook, then a gunner. I know about that. Oh my gosh, and now here you are doing something so wonderful. So now tonight, are they in for a treat?
They are going to be in for a treat. Yes, they are.
All right, we look forward to seeing that. Pleasure meeting you.
Thank you. It's a pleasure meeting you.
All right.
Hi, I'm Chuck Harwell with Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, where our focus is you, our community. Our local lenders are here to help you with your business loans and your personal loans. Our decisions are made in the bank with an answer the same day you come in. Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County is where common sense banking never goes out of style. Other banks may come and go, but we're here to stay. We are approaching a decade of service for Dublin-Lawrence County. Thank you for your support. Come see us at Community Bank of Dublin-Lawrence County, the bank that's service built.
All right, and we're back, ladies and gentlemen, and we've got the assistant team leader here with us. How are you, sir?
Good. How are you today?
Doing very well. You know, we've been hearing so much information about you guys,
Right.
and now it's your turn.
Yes,
Talk
it
to
is my
us.
turn. Well, what do you want to know? Where I started, how I got
well,
here?
tell us about you. Tell us
Okay.
about how your journey was.
Okay. So when I graduated high school, I had a friend that was bothering me, little peer pressure,
Yeah.
about starting to skydive. And at the time, the movie Point Break came out with Patrick Swayze
Yeah.
and Keanu Reeves. Well, I saw the movie, and I went, okay. So I went, and from the first time on, I immediately got hooked. Now, skydiving is one of those unique sports. There's so many different facets that you can never become, what am I trying to say? Like super good at one.
Right.
I mean, and it's a perishable skill, meaning
Right.
you'll work on one specific thing, and then you want to go and move on to something else. Like, you know, you can work on canopy piloting, and then there's those little squirrel suits that you see, and there's so many other things that you can do.
Right.
That it's a constant breathing machine and breathing living thing that no matter how much you do it, there's always something new. So it's constantly challenging.
Right.
It's forever changing, and it's one of those things that I've found in my life that no matter how much I do it, the more I do it, the more I love it, the more I want to do it.
Right,
so,
right. Tell us, you know, you've had a number of dives
Yes.
under your belt.
Yes. So I jumped just for fun.
Just for fun.
Just for fun.
How cool is
Before
that?
I joined the Army, and I did several things. I went to college first, and then I decided to join the Army at the age of 27. I came in as an airborne infantryman, and I went right down the street to Fort Benning, Georgia, and I started my career there. From there, I moved to Fort Lewis, Washington. I was stationed at 2nd Ranger Battalion,
Right.
and that was kind of the beginning. While I was there, I deployed 6 times, 3 times to
my
Afghanistan,
Lord.
3 times to Iraq, and then I was like, I'm done. I was burned out.
Right,
Right.
right.
I mean, just the high pace of everything,
Right.
you know, I needed a break. So I got out of the Army, and I took about 1 year and 4 months off. Well, right about at 1 year, I started realizing that I kind of missed the camaraderie of the Army,
Right.
the teamwork, like how everything is. So I started looking at what I could do, and right about the same time, a friend of mine had me jumping into civilian demonstrations. And he was like, hey, I know the commander of the Army parachute team, the Golden Knights. He's like, I might be able to help you out.
Wow.
So I took him up on his offer, and I came back in the Army, and I spent 6 years doing that. And since you're an Army spouse, you
Right.
know you can only stay at a spot for so long
Right,
before you have
right.
to move on. Well, I had to move on, and then I went to, was looking for a job, and I got an offer to come to the Army Special Operation Command parachute team. So I did, and I've been doing this since May of 2014. What I bring to the table for the team is the experience I learned on the Golden Knights. I have roughly 5,000 jumps.
Wow.
I've jumped into almost every major city from East Coast to West Coast. And I know what you were getting at next. You were going to ask me what my favorite jump is, right?
I was thinking it in my mind, but I wanted you to finish telling me. Finish
Okay.
telling us. Yeah.
So my first year on the Golden Knights, I was afforded the opportunity to jump and land in front of the Statue of Liberty.
Oh,
So how patriotic is that?
oh my God.
What a great honor it is.
That-
There's probably less than 100 people in the world that have ever done that.
Yeah.
And it was difficult, for one. You know, the expertise and the training that I received prior to that is what led to the success of that. So I gotta thank the guys that taught me how to do all this. And then you're jumping onto an island in the
Yes.
middle of the river there.
Right.
So
Right.
yes, very scary, very nervous. People often ask me, "Do you get nervous?" Yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask you. I'm nervous thinking about it because I think with me, and I know the people out there that are watching this, I'm sure they're at awe.
Yeah.
You know, because we're kind of like imagining in our minds
What it's like.
what
Yeah.
that's like.
So when you jump out of an airplane, what it physically feels like, drive down the road on the freeway or on the interstate and
Right.
stick your arm out the car window at 70 miles an hour. That's what it physically feels like. Now imagine that over your whole body from head to toe. The excitement and the adrenaline part, think
Yeah.
of like a roller coaster. So when you're climbing and you hear the clickety-clack part, you're getting nervous, you have anxiety, you got butterflies. The scary part's when you step off the airplane, so that's that first little hump,
Right,
that first little
right.
drop. And then when you're in free fall, now you're kind of on the roller coaster ride itself, which is the fun part. And it's, like I said, you just feel the wind across you. So it's not really scary because if you stare at the ground slowly moves at you. A lot of people
Right.
think you get that ground rush. Not so much in skydiving. In base jumping, yes, but skydiving, no. The ground slowly comes at you. And then right about the time things start getting scary, you're pulling your parachute anyways.
Wow. And sometimes I read that you guys are coming down at like over 120 miles per
Yes.
hour.
The average person falls on their belly, which is how we usually fall.
Right.
There's 4 axes actually. I'll go into that here in a second. So you fall on your belly anywhere from 120 to 130 miles an hour. Okay. The more skilled you become, you learn how to really we're manipulating and pushing air, and you can actually fall in a sitting position like we are right now. You can fly on your head, fall head down is what we call, and then you can fly on your back, obviously, because you start off flying, learning how to fly on your belly,
Right.
and then your back, and then
Right.
probably a sitting, and then on your head. So there's 4 axes in which you can fly, and you can move around the sky like literally like Superman. Now, yes, you are falling, but
Right.
if I wanted to move from here to 20 yards away, that's easy.
How do you do it?
You manipulate the air.
You know,
I'll have to take you and put you in the wind tunnel and then take you on and let you experience that for yourself.
that would be so awesome. That would be so awesome. And so what are they going to expect tonight?
For tonight, man, the band director, Mike Dukes, has put together an amazing show with the band. So the pre-show, they're going to come march the seniors out. They're going to do their thing with that. The band's going to line up on the field. By this time, we're already going to be pre-positioned up in the airplane, circling around like a racetrack.
Right.
Right at 7:15 p.m., we're going to step off the airplane. Now, usually in the day, we have M18 smoke canisters, so you can see red smoke on blue sky. Tonight, because it's going to be dark, we're going to be wearing pyro sticks. So it's the same kind of,
This is so
it's a big
exciting.
sparkler stick. It's kind of scary looking, actually, because many people from a distance look at it and they're like, is that a stick of dynamite? Because that's really what it looks like.
Oh, wow.
But no, it's a big sparkler stick. It's
Yeah.
stage pyro. It's the same thing they use at like music concerts and rock concerts and such. And we have a box that sits on our chest strap that we just push a button and then it fires, and then it every 28 seconds it fires the next, and there's the sticks burn for 30 seconds. So there's 2 seconds of overlap. So we're gonna have sparkler sticks, if you will,
Yes.
big adult sparkler sticks on our feet.
Yes.
We're gonna jump out. Kurt Loder is gonna jump in the game ball. I'm gonna be in the middle. I'm gonna fly in the POW MIA flag. And then John Morales is going to follow up in the rear with the American flag.
Wow.
Now, at probably 20, 30 seconds after we step off the airplane and we open our parachutes, the band is going to play the national anthem. And they gave us a little teaser last night. We met with Mike Dukes, the band director, and he had them play that for us in the band room. And I stood right behind him, and wow.
I know.
Talk about how powerful
Raider
that
Brigade,
is.
they're amazing.
It gave me goosebumps. Tears started coming down out of my eyes, and I was like, people often ask us, like, can you hear anything? Like, yeah, you can hear everything while you're up. So while we're under parachute, and we start hearing that, we're probably like 2,000, 3,000 feet.
Yeah.
Normally, you can hear a crowd roar at about 1,000. If they're like an air show at the Warner Robins, we perform for there.
Right.
We could hear people clapping and cheering, but as loud as they were, I told them, I was like, if you play that loud, I'll be able to hear you in free fall.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
this is going to be so exciting.
Yeah, if I get goosebumps in free fall, that's going to be a new
We'll
experience.
be watching. That's going to be great. And this is also in commemoration of Pearl Harbor.
Yes, they're going to have a couple of World War II veterans, one of which is from Pearl Harbor, and the other one had something to do with, I think he was a P-51 pilot chasing the Enola Gay, or protecting the Enola Gay when it dropped the bomb in Hiroshima. So just those guys alone, those are my heroes, because they paved the road for us.
Absolutely.
In order for us to do everything that we do in the Army and do for our country was paved by them. So
Absolutely.
What a great way of honoring them and showing our appreciation to what they've done and what they've done for this country.
Absolutely. Beautifully said. Thank you all so much. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
sharing that with us. We appreciate you all, everything that you do.
Thank you.
The history lessons that you teach us,
Yeah.
and the instructions that you give, and the things that you're going to show these kids today.
Yeah,
So,
we're getting ready. It's about lunchtime, I think, so we got a little table set up in
all
here.
right. Well, we'll check it out.
And hopefully the kids come by and they get to see, put their hands on what a real parachute
Absolutely.
looks and feels like. Not too many people have ever seen one up close, let
Right.
alone get to touch one. So
All right.
that's why we're here.
All right. Well, glad to have you here.
Thank you.
Thank you.